How's it going, Mets, Brewers, or whoever you're a fan of? It's your boy Wardy, and we're back out with the latest breaking news topic as Mark Canha, outfielder for the New York Metropolitans, has been dealt to, yes, the Milwaukee Brewers for a top 30 prospect in Milwaukee's organization, that being in starting pitcher Justin Jarvis. So we're going to be getting into a little bit on Jarvis and his game, what this means for the Mets, why they did this deal, same thing with Mark Canha, and why the Brewers made this deal. Is this a good move for both sides, that type of thing? But more than anything, I want to know how you guys are feeling. Initial reactions in the comments down below. We're not going live for this amount of time right now, as you can see, but I knew that we were going to see at least one trade for the Mets, if not multiple, happen today. I think Tommy Pham is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Justin Verlander, the big piece that we're really going to be covering from now up until the 6 p.m. Eastern deadline tomorrow, which we'll be doing a live free agent frenzy. No, we're going to be doing a live MLB trade deadline frenzy show talking all about the Mets and MLB as a whole, probably starting around 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, all the way up until the deadline's conclusion around 6 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're chiming into that tomorrow. It's going to be a big show. We're going to have a lot of people chiming in and sharing their opinions. But let's talk about this trade for a minute. Mark Canha is no longer a New York Met. And I first want to say, Mark Canha, thank you so much for your service as a Met. I thoroughly enjoyed you a lot last year. Of course, Canha had some heroic games for the Mets, especially against the Philadelphia Phillies in particular last year. And I will always appreciate those memories. Mark Canha at his best for the Mets. Again, a guy that's hitting around 260, sometimes 270, getting hit like crazy. I mean, he's led the league multiple times in hit by pitches, set a Mets single season record last year with most hit by pitches in a regular season, as the Mets themselves set their own single season record in 2022, in which a lot of things went right last year versus things not going right this year. However, Mark Canha, a savvy vet, a guy that can play perfectly fine left field, can play all around the outfield, can play third base, can play first base. He can play wherever you want him. He has that positional versatility, and he still potentially has another year left on his contract. He initially signed a multi-year deal with the Mets with a third-year club option, if not player option. I do believe it's club option, however, and now the Brewers will have the chance to potentially activate that once the season concludes. But now Milwaukee adds a veteran piece to add to their outfield, in which they have a lot of great young talent there, but never hurts to have a veteran, a guy that can come in as a fourth outfielder type, can play based on platoon situations, what matchups are going to look best for him, sometimes against lefties when he's going right. However, this year his splits haven't necessarily been anything great, anything worthy of like, okay, this guy needs to solely play against this type of pitcher. That isn't necessarily the case with Mark Canha this year. He's had an underwhelming season, as has been the case with most Mets this year. So he's just one example of a lot of things that unfortunately have not went right here in the season of 2023. However, Mark Canha is still serviceable, great guy, huge foodie. I know he's probably bummed leaving New York because of how much he loves the cultural diversity when it comes to food, as he's working on his cookbook, started a YouTube channel, and all that cool stuff. So I'm wishing Mark, his wife, and his entire family all the best. Again, thoroughly enjoyed his time in Queens, was an absolute warrior at his best, grinding out at bats so well. When him and McNeil were on, you love to see just how deep this Mets lineup could be when they were at their best. And again, he had Pop here there. This year, not so much. Again, struggled quite a bit, is not playing nearly as much as he did last year. Last year, he was playing on average every 2 or 3 games. This year has not been the case, as Tommy Pham basically won that spot in left field, deservedly so. And that is exactly why Tommy Pham is going to get traded within the next 24 hours. That is a sure guarantee too. So Mark Canha, he is dealt, and the Mets now get a pitching prospect, that being in Justin Jarvis. Now, a little bit on Justin Jarvis. He was pitching in AA and a little bit in AAA, only 11 innings or so in AAA this year. So just getting his feet wet at the AAA level, just over a 4-ERA. But why the Mets do this? Because they need as much starting pitching depth in the minor, guys with control, have options as much as humanly possible. You know, they've already exacerbated a lot of these options with Tyler McGill, with David Pearson, and some others. Now they bring in Jarvis and see what they have in him, can potentially give him an opportunity to start before the year's end, especially if, say, the Mets do, in fact, trade Justin Verlander. But more than anything, you're just adding a young, controllable starting pitcher that has some upside, that will be controllable in the organization for multiple years on end. And who knows, maybe this is a little bit of a dime in the rough type pick the Mets get. And at absolute worst, he's just a guy that's going to be fine in AAA for you. So if you're the Mets, by giving away Mark Canha, who really did not have much a role on the team this year, they were not going to accept his club option after this year's end. You just basically trade away a rental for a kid that at least can give you some upside at minimum at the minor league level. And of course, the ceiling would be actually being either a back-end starter or, of course, maybe some type of multi-aim reliever. Whatever's going to happen with Jarvis, all I know is that he's someone that can impact the Mets right away. They need starting pitching depth. could even be flipped as part of a bigger deal down the line as a controllable asset. There's a lot of ways that the Mets can go about this, but as long as you're getting something back from Mark Canha, it is certainly better than nothing. So Mets fans, I want to know how you're feeling. Brewers fans, I want to know how you're feeling about this deal. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. More breaking news content as always. If one Pham's traded, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go live or do a video just like this right away. If Justin Verlander's traded, we're definitely going to have to go live for it right away because that would be a massive deal, and the Mets should hopefully get a massive return should that happen. Brooks Raley, could he be dealt? Well, his market is really picking up right now, so that's another thing to follow. Again, guys, make sure you guys are following along. Trade deadline is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you're following along here at WardyNYM for all your Mets coverage needs, and we will again be live tomorrow for a massive trade deadline stream. So I'll see you then, and as always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.